Hey guys, thank you so much for stopping by the garden today. I've been doing a lot of work this morning. I just got done watering and laying down some mulch. So I laid down some cypress mulch because it's getting really hot here in Central Florida, Zone 9B. And the summer is, we're basically in summer now. We're at the end of May and it's getting really hot. It's getting 95 degrees with like 70-80% humidity. And it's going to be causing a lot of heat stress on my plants. So one thing I like to do is lay down a bunch of mulch like you see here. And if you notice the difference between a week ago, I put earthworm castings underneath this mulch. I put a little raised bed mix from Harvest Organics. It's like a soil mix, but I love it. I really love it for my raised beds and my containers, my big containers. My allergies have been going crazy. The pollen's out and the plants are blooming. We have a sunflower that just bloomed for us, this little big guy right here. Show you a little picture really quick. We're just going to go about the garden, talk about some things we've been doing, and just, how to keep it healthy in the heat of the summer. We live in Florida, so it gets really, really hot here. We struggle with pests, fungal diseases, anything you can imagine we get. The bees love this sunflower. We're going to be planting a lot more here, some velvet kinds. We got our babies growing in the back here, getting really big. You can see I left a lot of my coleus back here too. My kalanchoes are getting really big. I have more sunflowers in the back there. And then we're going to go look at the zinnias. We're just going to move down and take a little tour today and show you how everything is responding from this mulch. Now, ever since I put the mulch down, my plants have been so much healthier. It's stopping backsplash from happening. So usually in the garden, you get a lot of splash up on the leaves. If you have just soil here and you go in water, you'll get a lot of soil backsplashing on them leaves. Well, in turn, that causes a lot of fungal diseases, pest problems, and it just tends to infest your foliage. You can see that we stopped a lot of that. Now, I left some of the bottom on so you can kind of see what I'm talking about with the aphids and stuff. Now, we get a lot of aphids on our marigolds here, and they're supposed to be aphid resistant. But you can see that's aphid damage on marigold leaves. So that is the bottom. We have a lot of fungal damage and stuff on the bottom of our leaves, but at the top of our leaves, you can see they're really nice and healthy. And that's with everything. That's with my green beans. As you can see, they're starting to flower already. They just look so much greener. We're gonna go up here to these zinnias, take a quick peek, and they're just blooming like crazy. We got earthworm castings under there. We got nice organic matter underneath that soil, and we have cypress mulch we topped off with. You can see these zinnias are just going crazy. They love this spot. They're getting full sun, so they're getting the morning sun all the way up until the afternoon, about 3 o'clock. And then this area gets shaded from that afternoon beating sun. We get a lot of excessive heat here, and the ultraviolet rays, they can really cause a lot of damage on your plants. As you can see, we're preventing that because we planted over here and we have a big tree blocking that bad sun in the afternoon. So they're getting a lot of full morning sun, and then 3 o'clock they're done. You can see how much better my peppers look and everything, my marigold. Let's go take a look at some other stuff around the garden. We planted a little coleus. I'm going to be taking coleus from my container out back. I'm going to do a video on coleus for you because I've been growing it all year long. I have coleus growing in the back there, which we're leaving. It's nice and pink. We got peppers in here. We got marigolds. And I want to show you, that's a pretty butterfly that just passed. This is my update on my sunflower. So we have like 6 flower stalks pushing out of here. Flower heads, I should say, from that sunflower we cut. Remember we cut it off? We got a double head up top, and we have more heads on the bottom, so I can't wait to show you an update on those sunflowers, letting your plants rebloom. Your sunflowers can rebloom. We'll go over to this other section. Our green beans are doing really, really well. These were getting infested by just fungus, aphids, really, really bad, but we stopped that. So we're getting nice and healthy green beans now. You can see they're growing really good. I don't have pests, I don't have diseases on the top leaves, just on the bottom. So you want to get all the bottom leaves that had pest damage on it, you want to get off. Cut it all out, cut any dead, get rid of any dead plants that you have in here. Get them on out of there. This was a sunflower, little guy we just cut. So we're going to go ahead and just pull him out, fix the mulch. Can just lay it right back on. We have really fertile mulch in there, so that's, really fertile soil. It's nice and black. We have worms in our bins and in our compost bin, so that's amazing. These are so cute, these little baby's breath. I'm going to plant some more cottage garden mix here because they're kind of done for the season. We were growing them over since the winter. This is our little sugar baby watermelon, which we're getting a lot of growth here. We're feeding with Tiny Grow. So anything that's little like this, like my tiny little sunflowers that are just starting to sprout, we're going to feed with Grow nutrients probably like twice a week at this point. You want to feed them really good in the beginning, especially at this stage. This is a little sugar baby watermelon and she's doing really good. It's holding back all that fungal disease. I can't believe how much better these look from, a week ago, just with all the diseases you get from the backsplash on the leaves. I can water pretty hard with the pressure on, and this mulch on top really prevents that from backsplashing that soil. It also holds a lot of moisture inside your containers, and you're gonna have to watch moisture right now, guys, because some might need more moisture than others. Like this watermelon likes a good consistent moist soil but not overwatered, so I just have to give a little bit each day to some containers. Some containers don't need it, like my blackberry and my blueberry. We'll go ahead and check those out. Alright, so this blackberry got hit. If you can see those leaves up in there that are nice and yellow and brown, that's fungus. So we're starting to get it on our blackberry. And this happens to us this time of year. We get black spot, we get rust, we get all kinds of stuff. And this is no good. So we've been treating with neem on a 5-day schedule. Every 5 days, 2 tablespoons per gallon of water, and we're soaking down the leaves top and bottom. That's really bad. This is fungus, guys. You got to get rid of it. Cut all the dead out. Now my blackberry and blueberry are pretty much done for the season. We've gotten a lot of berries off of them. So she's just finishing out. Like you can see, she has just a little bit left that she's got to finish. So I'm going to let her finish, but I topped off with some mulch here, and I just did this morning. So you can tell from the stuff that's been on there for the last week compared to this one, I just put it on here this morning. You can see the problems we had. So we're going to do an update on this in the next 2 weeks or so, or even week. As soon as this starts looking better, I'm going to show you guys that difference, the way this mulch holds that disease back for you. Just make sure you're giving good amount of water, but don't overwater. You don't want to, if you're getting fungus, you don't want to overwater. You want to let your containers dry out all the way. You want to avoid touching leaves because that is going to create fungus to spread. This is my blueberry, which she's starting to really get into her growing season now. All them blooms and blueberries on the edges, they're almost done. Some of them are just going to get cut off because they're just not ripening right. And that's because she's coming into growing season. She's not blooming anymore. So she blooms in the fall and the spring for us here in Florida. You can see all that nice healthy foliage. So we're going to start switching her slowly to grow instead of feeding her with the bloom still, because you don't want to encourage those blooms. She's going to get confused. You want to start feeding grow. So start switching to a 7.95, and then she'll be good to go. Just make sure your pH is correct. Blueberries and blackberries, strawberries, they like acidic soil. So just check the pH on those and just make sure they're correct for the type of berries you're growing. Some require more acidic soil than others, so type in the variety, and then you'll see what type of soil they need, what type of soil pH. We're just going to start training her too, so we're going to do a video on this. We have a lot here to come in the garden just because we're getting into growing season, rocking out here, get more plants in the ground. We're going to start training a lot of these branches, so I want to show you how to do that on your blueberry. This way we take off all the ones that are going pointing down, and then we're going to keep all the ones facing up like this because we don't want them crossing into each other. So right now we should be shaping our blueberry. We'll move on to back here. We got a raspberry growing, which I cut. I topped her off, which topping means totally cutting that top off. You can see the 2 stems I cut off, and then it's shooting out a bunch of side branches, so she's growing bushy, and that's awesome. She loves that mulch we put on there. We didn't have to water her today because we watered her yesterday, and she's looking really good. This is coleus we're growing from over the winter time. She sprouted, so we're keeping her. We're going to do a video on coleus as well, how to grow it from seed to flowering stage, what nutrients to give, how much sun to give, what they like. They really like a lot of trimming. Anything like this and yucky you want to get rid of like that because it's going to encourage new growth to sprout. You can see the little leaves that were right there on that node. It's going to encourage that to shoot right out. So you have a nice bushy coleus plant like we do in the front. Move on to our green beans and carrots. Our carrots, I've been harvesting a few here and there. They're almost ready. Carrots take a lot longer than the packet says usually, but we'll keep an update on that for you. They're looking really good, just giving them grow maybe once every few weeks, topping off with earthworm castings. We did that a few weeks ago and they've been looking good. Green beans, these got hit with a lot of disease, so you can see how bad they were. And I just put this mulch on here. I just topped it off with a nice, good another layer of it because we had to get more, but you can see that yellow spotting on it. Now that can be two things. It can be lack of nutrients or disease starting to come about on your plant. So you got to be careful. Just look, pay attention, be out there, spray with preventative with neem oil or pesticide, fungicide, whatever you got, and that's fungus to me. When you see brown with yellow halos around it, it means you have fungus. Leaf miners, I can see aphid damage. So that was all old. We're gonna get in here, we're gonna clean it up, cut it out, and then you can see the new leaves. See the new leaf? It's nice and green, there's nothing on it because we laid that mulch down and we're treating preventatively with a pesticide and a fungicide, which is neem oil. I love it. It's organic, safe around you, your pets, the environment, and just don't spray it in direct sun, guys, because it is an oil. It's like putting suntan oil on and going outside. You know, you want to spray at night whenever there's no chance of that sun coming about again. This is my little eggplant, doing good. She stopped growing a little bit, so because she got hit with a lot of fungus. So I'm gonna get in here, trim her up, see what I can do for her. I cut a lot of foliage off, but that eggplant's starting to flower, so we're doing good. Let's go take a look. So this one's doing really good. She's got some nice flowers on her. I love eggplant flowers. One of these are Black Beauty, one is Long-Standing, I think. So the other one that has that little fruit on it, I think is the Black Beauty, and this is the Long-Standing. You can see she's blooming, so we're gonna feed with bloom every other watering, so that's like twice a week, 3 times a week. And I'm watering just a little bit every day right now because it keeps my garden really healthy. If you live in a really tropical climate like us and you get above 90 degrees, you know, we're at like 96 we hit the other day. We're gonna hit 97, 98 by the end of the week, and it's just gonna be really hot. So giving them a little drink in the morning without touching the foliage, if you're out there early enough, before 9, then it's usually okay. Their leaves won't burn. They'll have a chance to dry. This is just a big tote of carrots that we sowed a couple months ago now, so that's gonna be ready soon. And then our tomatoes, they're doing a little better since we topped off with that mulch. Let's go take a look. They're starting to ripen. We're getting new blooms. We're getting a little tomato on here that's starting to grow. You can see my allergies are driving me nuts. You can see a little tomato. These are large red cherries. We fixed a lot of that blossom rot on her. You can see nice and healthy blooms. She was dropping a lot of them, and we're pruning all the suckers off. I don't want suckers at this point. I'm sorry I couldn't do a tutorial start to finish with tomatoes. I'm just kind of winging it, doing updates on her as we go along here in the garden because it's really tough with everything going on. You know, replanting, getting things I need for the garden, treating, food. I hand water everything because I don't have irrigation. So I hand water with a hose every morning, and I treat by hand when I feed and I spray. So it's really tough, guys. I spray with a sprayer and it's not automatic. So these large red cherries are doing pretty good. I lost a lot of the blooms on this one, but they're still big. And this vine, pretty much all pollinated, but like a few on the end. So we're ripening here. You can see her starting to turn orange. And we're looking good. So I'm pruning a lot of the blooms off. I'm making sure, the suckers, which suckers grow in the armpits of your plant. So this is your main stem, right? And the suckers will grow in here. I'm pruning them off so she can focus just on producing what she has. And then any new flowers that come about, we'll definitely make sure they pollinate. You can see they're not pollinating too good here. See, that kind of fell off. So that's due to fungus. She's just getting fungus right now. Tomatoes are really tough to grow here in Florida, but we're giving it a go. You know, why not try and see what we can do until it gets really hot in July and August, because then we're not going to be able to grow a lot here. Thank you so much for joining today, guys. I hope you really enjoyed this video and learned something about just keeping your garden healthy in the heat of the summer, especially living in Florida here. I appreciate you stopping by, and I'll see you next time. Comment below if you need any help. I'm always here for you, and I love what I do. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.